What's up, everybody? Welcome to DFS by the Numbers. This is my betting breakdown for UFC Vegas 13. I'm really looking forward to this card. I have 4 bets that we'll talk about on this video. Also going to be going, through this card strictly from a betting perspective, as always. Not going to get into much breakdown. If you do want to see the breakdown for the fights and why I'm picking each fighter, I did post a breakdown on Tuesday, and I also did a final weigh-in video on Friday as well. So go check that out if you haven't yet. Before we get started, if you guys can leave a like on this video, it helps out a ton. Subscribe if you are not subscribed yet. Again, helps out a ton. Almost to 8,000 subs. Would love to get there by the end of the month. And all my content's free. My bets will always be free. Betting breakdowns always going to be free. But if you do want to support me more, I have a lot of people hit me up saying, how can I donate to you? How can I support? The best way is signing up on Patreon here. $10 a month, you get the UFC betting package. $2.50 a month, you get the model you see here. Every time I post a bet, I get it out. I do a betting breakdown video for each bet I post. My article, and of course the Discord. We have almost 200 members in there, so really growing on there. Really active Discord as well. So come join. Come talk some fights on Saturday. We also talk throughout the weeks, talk betting, talk whatever. It's a fun time in there. So with that said, we are going to get started here with the first fight of the night, and we have Anthony Burchak versus Gustavo Lopez. And if you got a plus money play on Lopez, he opened up as an underdog. I can see him, closing at like minus 120, minus 130, and rightfully so. I do think he should be the favorite. I think he has more paths to victory. Burchak coming in here on short notice. The dude doesn't have a gas tank even when he's on a full camp, so I'm kind of expecting this to basically be a Burchak round 1 or bust. If he does not finish Lopez in round 1 by a submission, most likely, I think Lopez is going to take over and finish maybe the second, early third round there. I even think Lopez can finish in the first round. The dude hits like a truck, finished 90% of his wins. Not going to bet either side here, but what I really do like is this under 2.5 rounds. The under 2.5 is minus 135. I have 1.5 units on it, and that is my first bet of the night. 2 guys that can, more than capable of finishing. I think Burchak, if he does not get that finish, he definitely slows down. He leaves his hands down when he's tired, and I think Lopez is going to crack him and knock him out there. So I guess something you could look at is Lopez by KO plus 400. Not a bad idea there. Lopez inside the distance plus 250. Not a bad line there as well. But the pick is Lopez. But I really do like that under 2.5 where the fight does not go to decision. So getting to the next fight, Max Griffin versus Brahimage. And I like Brahimage here. I would have liked to bet him when he was like plus 160, something like that. The line has came down. I like Brahimage. I think he's a really good fighter, making improvements. Last time he lost, I think it was like 2 years ago. So I'm assuming he's made some improvements. And what do you need to improve in my opinion, was that gas tank of his. The dude's a beast. He can come in here and get takedowns, very good on the mat, but he's pretty much a beast for only 1 round, and he definitely slows down a ton. I guess what I was looking at here was the sub prop plus 425. I think that's a crazy line. I mean, for a couple of reasons. The dude's won every single one of his fights by submission, and I know Max Griffin's never been submitted in his career, besides 2012. I think it's not officially on his record. I think it was like on the Ultimate Fighter or something he got submitted, but officially Max Griffin has never been submitted. But Brahimage, if he can get him down, which I do think he does, I think he is live for a sub there. Plus 425 is not a bad look if I was to bet it, but going to pass on this fight as a whole. Next fight, Darren Elkins versus Eduardo Garagorri. Garagorri is plus 205. Elkins is minus 245. I really like Elkins here. Just don't know how to bet him. I mean, minus 245 is getting a little steep. I think this is a huge step down in competition. He's on a 4-fight losing streak here. He really needs this fight. If he loses this fight, he's probably going to be done in the UFC. And Garagorri has a non-existent takedown defense. I think Elkins, if he comes in here and takes the fight to the mat, easy path to victory. He will look minus 245. If he comes out here and strikes with Garagorri, it could be a lot closer. But I am really confident in Elkins. I don't have a bet on it yet on Elkins, but I will have him in a Hail Mary parlay that I'll probably be posting on Twitter there. Next, we have Alexander Romanov versus Marcos Rogerio de Lima. Quick pick here. I mean, it's Romanov all day. Romanov probably in round 1. If de Lima survives round 1, he's going to be dead tired. So I can see Romanov winning in round 2, early round 2. I think the under 1.5 is not a bad look. But I do have Romanov in a parlay with somebody up later in the card there. I think it's a fantastic parlay piece. I think his inside the distance line is a fantastic parlay piece. I will have Romanov inside the distance in my Hail Mary parlay for sure. As long as he doesn't come out here and strike with de Lima for any period of time, I think he should roll here. And what I like about Romanov is he knows what he wants to do, and that's get the fight to the mat, and that's just what he does here. So Romanov all day. Next, we have Bevon Lewis versus Trevin Giles. pass fight. You should not bet on this fight either way. The pick is Giles. Am I confident in it? Not at all. This dude, you had a panic attack his last fight versus Kevin Holland, pulled out last second. Before that, I mean, this dude takes his other career a little more serious than fighting. It looks like he is a police officer part-time, and ever since he's really been focusing on being a police officer, you can definitely see a decline in his performances inside the octagon. So I like Giles here, I guess. I mean, this is a big pass. I would never bet on either of these guys in my life, but I'm going to pick Giles. I do think he's the better fighter. I think Lewis has the more upside, but at this point, I do think Giles is a slightly better fighter. I haven't been all that impressed with Lewis whatsoever. Next fight, Chikadze versus Jamie Simmons. And I like Chikadze here a lot. Minus 770, a little steep there, but after watching tape, you can definitely see why. Chikadze is the much bigger fighter. The gap in skill is huge in this fight. Jamie Simmons definitely should not be in the UFC here, and Chikadze, he should definitely get the finish here. I know Chikadze has went to decision in all 4 of his UFC wins, but a lot of those were against tough guys. Irwin Rivera was a really tough guy. Omar Morales, a really tough guy. Jamal Emmer is a really talented fighter. Jamie Simmons does not belong in the UFC. If Giga Chikadze cannot finish this guy, it'll be a huge, huge disappointment. I'd be shocked if Chikadze does not finish him here. Jamie Simmons, if he strikes with Chikadze for any period of time at all, he's getting knocked out. So I do have Chikadze inside the distance, parlayed with Romanov inside the distance. I got it at plus 132. For both of them to finish their fight inside the distance there. I have 1.5 units on it. That is my second bet of the night. I will be in shock if Giga Chikadze does not finish this fight. They're giving him this fight to get a highlight reel knockout. I mean, they're trying to build up Giga, and this is definitely a fight to do it against Jamie Simmons here. So Chikadze all day. I like the inside the distance line at minus 170. I don't think that's a bad price there. And on to the next fight, Yan Janan versus Claudia Gadelha. I like Diana a lot better at like minus 120, minus 125. I'm definitely not pulling the trigger at minus 155. Definitely a big pass fight for me. It's based off the fact like Claudia Gadelha can definitely win this fight, but she has awful fight IQ. Her cardio is awful. If I knew she'd come in here and get takedowns in round 1, takedowns in round 2, maybe round 3, I'd probably bet her here at this price. It's just she goes out there in round 1, she gets a takedown, looks good, but after that she slows down, she gasses out, she stops wrestling, grappling, and at that point, Jan's probably going to win a decision here. It's probably going to be close. I do not want my money on this fight regardless. Brendan Allen versus Ian Heinisch, another fight that's really, really tough to call. Flip a coin here. I'm going to go with Brendan Allen here. I'm not going to bet it. He opened up like minus 150, so a lot of money is coming in on Ian Heinisch, and rightfully so. This is going to be a really close fight. I think Allen's going to have a lot of success early, but if Heinisch can weather that early storm, I do think he's live for maybe a decision win or maybe a late finish there, but I am going to pick Brendan Allen here to win by submission, which is plus 400, not a bad look there, but I really don't want anything to do with this fight. I do think it's going to be a really exciting fight, though, and I do think I'm going to pick Allen to win by submission here. I do want to point out something else. Giga Chikadze by submission plus 1,700. Plus 1,700 here. Actually, I'm probably going to put a little bit on that. Simmons has been submitted before, and watching tape on Simmons, he does put himself in a lot of bad spots. And I know Giga's not a grappler at all, but you can definitely see improvements in his grappling. He was able to reverse Jamal Emmers. He was able to throw up submissions. He has a submission on his record as well, so plus 1,700. I mean, Simmons is most likely going to be shooting takedowns. Maybe Giga locks something up. I think it's worth putting a little something on that plus 1,700 there. If not, it probably knocks him out, which is fine. All right, and we are back to Yanni Barcelos versus Khalid Taha. I see a lot of people on Taha. I can kind of understand why, but there's a really big gap in skill here. I think Barcelos is the much better fighter. I think he has a clear path to victory, taking it down to the mat, finding a submission, getting a ground and pound victory there. The only thing is he is going to stand and trade with Taha, most likely giving Taha a path to victory. Could Taha clip him? He could, but from what I've seen, Barcelos has a really good chin, never been knocked out. I like Barcelos here, probably going to throw him in a Hail Mary. Other than that, no action. I think submission plus 175 for Barcelos is not a bad look, but other than that, I'm just going to have him in the Hail Mary parlay there. Co-main event, Tanner Boser versus Andre Arlovski here. And this closes out my parlay with Romanov, and I have Tanner Boser parlayed with Alexander Romanov. I had minus 121. I got it earlier in the week, plus 1.5 units on that. I really like the line of minus 121. Two of my most confident picks into one parlay. I probably should have put more on it, but we'll go with the 1.5 units there. I really like him to get it done against Andrei Arlovski, someone who's 41 years old. He's been knocked out 12 times. The chins look better as of late, but hasn't really been fighting the best competition. He beat Ben Rothwell, beat Philippe Lins, Stefan Struve, just a couple of his last wins there. I do think Boser's a really talented fighter, really talented heavyweight, has good cardio, good output, good leg kicks. He's not your typical heavyweight, and that's what I like about him. I think he probably knocks out Arlovski. Plus 160 by KO is not good enough for me. I mean, Boser's someone who's typically a point fighter. He has finished about half of his wins by knockout, but I'm just going to go with him in the parlay. I think he's fine, and I'm probably going to have him in my Hail Mary as well, but give me Tanner Boser for the win. Probably by KO, just not going to bet that prop. Finally, the main event here, Thiago Santos versus Glover Teixeira. I broke this fight down a ton. I'm not going to go into much detail, but I do think the line's way off. All the factors in, like Teixeira has been looking fantastic. On the scales, he looked the best he's ever had. The dude's 41 years old, and the dude's looking the best he's ever had. In his fight game as well, he's on a 4-fight win streak. This dude is peaking at 41 years old. It's honestly crazy to see here. Thiago Santos coming off of 2 major injuries, 2 major surgeries, and a really close decision loss to John Jones. I think the line's off, and I did take a small shot on Glover Teixeira. I had Glover Teixeira inside the distance plus 300, have half a unit on that. So small risk, high reward there. I think the line's off. I think Glover can take him down. If he takes him down, Santos is in a world of trouble. I think Teixeira probably submits him, maybe a ground-and-pound victory. The injury concerns of Santos, Teixeira has been looking the best he's ever had, looked great on the scales. Santos not so much on the scales. I like Teixeira here. Now, don't come after me if Thiago Santos knocks him out in the first round. I know that's very, very possible, but at plus 300 for the inside the distance, I think it's worth a little shot there. So to recap the bets real quick, my first parlay is Tanner Boser parlayed with Alexander Romanov, minus 121, 1.5 units on that. Next, we have this parlay I really like. Chikadze wins inside the distance, minus 160, parlayed with Romanov wins inside the distance, minus 235, for a plus 132 line there, 1.5 units on that. Next, we have Gustavo Lopez versus Anthony Burchak, under 2.5 rounds, 1.5 units on that. And then we have Glover Teixeira wins inside the distance, plus 300, a half a unit on that, for a total of 5 units getting wagered on this fight night. Kind of a small card for me, but it's a tough card. It really is a bunch of big favorites, a bunch of fights that can really go either way. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to this card. But with that said, leave this video a like. It helps out a ton. Subscribe if you have not yet. If you have any questions, you can hit me up on Twitter, Instagram, all that good stuff. Twitter is DFS_numbers. Instagram is DFS by the numbers. I will be posting my bets. I might post a Hail Mary. I know I'll have one on Patreon for sure, but I will be probably posting a Hail Mary as well. And like I said, the Giga prop plus 1,700, something to look at. I think Brendan Allen by submission, I think those odds plus 400, not bad. Brahimage by submission plus 425. There's some decent sized props out here that I think there's really good lines. I might take a couple shots on a couple of them. So with that said, good luck on Saturday, and let's win some money. We've been on a kind of a hot streak. It would have been a monster night last week if Bobby Green would have got the decision there, but would have hit another Hail Mary as well. But I don't know. It was a tough fight. I thought he should have won, but that's how it is. So hopefully, really good night here. Hopefully all 4 of the bets cash. That'd be sweet, but I have a feeling it's going to be a good night, and good luck, guys.